Okay, let's move on towards the adjustment. So this is going to be the latest test server adjustment. First and foremost, we're going to be having Evil Reptilian. Evil Reptilian has received a buff. So right now, Evil Reptilian's praying leap cooldown has been reduced by 1 second. So it's from 11 seconds to 10 seconds. Second buff is, currently it is now harder to pallet stun Evil Reptilian when he drops down from Praying Leap. So basically when Evil Reptilian smashes down after he jumps, if he lands in between a pallet, it is now harder for you to pallet stun. That's what I believe it is. They said they've optimized it, but I think that this is kind of a buff for Evil Reptilian. Next one is kind of the biggest buff of it all. After reaching max presence, Evil Reptilian can keep jumping as long as he has the energy to jump. Energy cost is currently fixed at 15 after 3 jumps. This is quite big because he can actually rotate across a map like as much as he wants if he has 200 stacks of energy. But we'll just have to see how this goes. I believe that this is quite a big buff, as you can see on the screen as well, but we'll be moving on towards the next hunter. Next hunter is going to be Gamekeeper. They've buffed Gamekeeper as well. Gamekeeper's buff is they currently shortened the hook animation for Gamekeeper, so I'm just going to assume that it is now harder for survivors to actually dodge the hooks. The second part is they've optimized the trap placement logic, so this is kind of a mini buff as well. And the third, and it's quite a big one as well, they have increased the recasting time after reaching max presence from 4 seconds to 3 seconds when using hooks. This is quite nice for Gamekeeper mains, simply because of the fact that they have more time now to readjust themselves and to do better hooks instead of, panicking. So this 1 extra seconds does help out Gamekeeper mains quite a lot. Next hunter adjustment is going to be Undead. Undead has received quite a nice buff as well. Undead can now use more persona from the persona tree. We have 5 or 6 in total. We have Control Freak, Wanted Order, Exhibitionist, Wither, Nostalgic, and Berserker. Okay, we have 6. Now, everything else here is going to be the same as every other hunter except for Berserker. Please note that Berserker has reduced its attack recovery by 5% per all level. So initially it was 15, 20, 25%. Now it is 10, 15, 20% attack recovery after you get someone down on the ground. Now this is highly understandable, as 25% is actually quite fast, especially with the fact that you can stack up Wither alongside with the dash speed from Undead's first skill, so I can see why they nerfed this. Now then, let's move on towards Survivor's adjustments. Survivor's adjustments will be going to Journalists first. Journalists received a buff. Currently, Journalists cannot do global little Orpheus anymore. This is a buff because, well, for me this is a buff, just keep on listening, right? So she now cannot do global little Orpheus anymore, but she can place little Orpheus in a straight line if there's no palace nearby. This kind of enhances Journalist solo containment, that kind of general area, so being able to gain a, 9% movement speed boost while running straight is kind of nice, especially against ship hunters. Next part will be, we have increased the maximum distance of deploying little Orphe to 15 meters right now, and this is kind of the biggest part of it all. We have reduced little Orphe's cooldown to 6 seconds. So after you use a camera and you decide to cancel it, the camera duration is now reduced to 6 seconds. So we can basically spam little Orphe now in a nutshell, which basically enhances her solo containment there as well. So I think NetEase kind of want to enhance her solo containment, I guess. But overall, this is a nice buff for Journalist. Next will be Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper also received quite a nice buff. Currently, when you enter burrow mode, meaning when you use your shovel, the duration of entering shovel is reduced by 0.4 seconds, so you can get into shovel form faster. And of course, getting out of shovel form is reduced by 0.2 seconds. So this is kind of an animation buff here for Gravekeeper. You can now get in and get out of shovel very, very, very fast. Well, just a bit faster, let's say. But of course, the next buff of this part is when Hunter attacks during Underground Sneak, it increases the attack recovery animation by 10%. So this kind of just allows Gravekeeper, to rotate into the next containment area just a little bit better. we're gonna have Lawyer. Lawyer received a mini nerf. Lawyer's movement speed bonus is gonna be reduced from 5% to 0.5%. Every 18 meters of Lawyer running across the map, Lawyer gains a 0.14 movement speed boost for every 18 meters. Of course, this is doubled to 0.28 when he's using the map, but this is gonna be a mini debuff, well not debuff, nerf for Lawyer, as he is kind of strong now. Too strong. We're gonna have a nice Postman adjustment, a nice Postman buff. Postman can now increase his letters sending animation and Wix delivery speed animation. So now you can send your support letters a little bit faster. And we've also optimized Postman's graphic user interface for sending letters and adding extra buttons for letter switch. As you can see on the screen, we can now basically tap a button and basically pre-order a letter. Not the best way to say, but you can basically set a letter that you want to send ready, and all you do is to drag and drop towards the survivor you want to send it to, instead of, you know, editing it while choosing which one you want to send when you're like tapping the letter. But this is quite nice for Postman, a nice mini buff. Next on the list will be Postman and Patient. Patient and Toy Merchant. I don't know what this means, but this is mainly for Kriegberg Racecourse. We are now going to optimize the logic of air walls for blocking hooks and for catapults. I don't know what this means, but I'm just going to keep this up here for everyone to see. And there's also one more for Cowboy. Cowboy's adjustment, I've made a full video on it. Please go to the video on my channel for that. I will link in the description. Well, I will put the link in the description below, but that's going to be it for that. We also received a few pursuit bonus adjustments. When multiple survivors are present around the hunter, survivor's pursuit bonus duration will end sooner. This simply just wants, you know, harassers to not gain as much points when there's already a solo container there, you know, doing all the containment jobs. So I can see why NetEase decides to nerf this, because we don't want, you know, people trolling, standing near hunters to give them, you know, 12,000 points, so then they lose less when you were the one who actually did all the work. But that's going to be it of the test server adjustments for Christmas 2023. Thank you everyone for coming. Hopefully this helped you out, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye, sugar buns.